So most of my life has been in the country, or as you guys can probably tell from some of the spots and some of the backgrounds, that I don't really live in a city. I have lived in smaller cities my entire life and have only been in a couple of large metropolitan areas in passing. That all changed this week. It was my first ever trip to New York City. We had some time to kill before going to the show, so me, my siblings, my wife, all got to go to the coolest store in America, which is the Nintendo store in the city. And I had a lot of fun there. I had to make a video on it. I've never been in an area with so many Nintendo fans and so much Nintendo love all in one go. It was definitely a bucket list thing. When we ended up getting to the city, we looked at the map and it just happened to be there. So this is kind of thrown together. And before we begin the video, I just wanted to say that my heart goes out to all the people affected by the recent tragedy in the city, and I just wanted to let you know, if anyone from there that is affected is watching this video, that I feel very sad with what has happened, and loves and prayers go out to you guys, if you're in that area and are affected by it. So terrible thing that has happened, and I hope we can move on and rebuild and heal. So I know that's a little bit different, but for an intro, but you know what, let's get right to the rest of the video. Oh yeah, and at the end I will show you guys what I got from it. So stick around. This is my story for New York City, and yeah, let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you have all been doing very well. This past weekend, as I said in the intro, we hit up New York City for the first time ever. We started in New Jersey, so we were staying right outside of Philadelphia, about an hour's drive into New Jersey, stopped at the train station, got on the train, and headed to the city. Never been on a mass public transport train before, which was interesting. It was nice in the first part after we got our tickets because we were the first stop, so we got to choose our seats, and the ride-in was relaxing. Took the train from Trenton, and it was about an hour into the city, and it was a nice ride. We get to New York City, and like everyone was telling me, the smell change, I don't know how you guys do it, but it was like my senses were like on a very much stimulus overload kind of sensory thing going on. It smelled like cigarettes, cigars, weed, food, everything. And I think it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like, I know a lot of people are like, it just smells like sewage and sewer. It wasn't bad. I just felt like it was I was very nose blind, but I was surprised that I wasn't like, oh man, it's just like terrible. And actually I have asthma, so my asthma wasn't acting up. So props to you, city, for not making me go on a full-on asthma attack. But anyway, so we got to the city, and immediately the first thing we didn't know we were going to the Nintendo store. We went to Penn Station, we went out and got on the phones, and my siblings noticed that there was the Nintendo store on 48th Street. And so I think we were like on 32nd Street or 33rd Street. And so we decided it was right by the Rockefeller Plaza. So my aunts, my mom broke off with my grandmother, who, by the way, turned 80. Happy birthday, Oma. And they went to the Rockefeller Center, which was only, I think, 2 blocks down from the Nintendo store. And then us as a sibling group and my wife decided to go to the Nintendo store. Now, walking there, I've never had to walk in a huge city with tons of people. I do say the movies definitely over exaggerate how many people are in those crosswalk areas, because I never felt like it was like, in some spots it was like it was packed, and that kind of did happen, but not like you see in the movie. So my perspective of it has been off for quite a while. But it was a kind of like probably like a 20-minute walk. I stepped in a random puddle, probably like the 2nd Street into the walk, and I gotta go burn my shoe because I don't know exactly what I stepped in. It's probably could explode at any moment. And then we didn't see a ton of crazy things, but my homies out on the on this side of the street just whipped out a bag in front of my family of like 2 giant balls of weed. Probably the biggest balls of weed I've ever seen. I've been to college. I've seen a lot of stuff, but it's very funny. I mean, it was probably the size of a softball, and he whips it out. He's like, oh, I saw it. And I was like, damn, that is crazy. It's legal in New York, by the way, so it's okay. It's okay. So past that, oh, also kind of around that area, had the best looking Taco Bell I've ever seen. Had the coolest Applebee's I've ever seen, but unfortunately we had a tight schedule to keep. We actually got pizza in the city for lunch, so we couldn't stop there. But I really wanted to stop at the Taco Bell. It had like the coolest lights as a sign, and it just looked really nice inside. So we finally get to the Nintendo store, and it is, I've seen it in other people's videos, and it was just so cool that it was me this time, you know, going into the building. It had the gold Mario. I actually have the gold Mario amiibo, and it had like that gold, same exact figure on the corner. And we go in, and immediately we were hit with the Donkey Kong stand. So they're going all in on Donkey Kong. They kind of, on the left side, they had like a, you can take a picture with Donkey Kong, and it had the like a backdrop, and then it had Donkey Kong merch, like you could get plushies, you could get the Donkey Kong, you know, mug, all that kind of stuff right out in front. But immediately we were hit with so much stuff. They had a control. They have every single available Nintendo Switch available for purchase, kind of right in the middle, so you can immediately go there. To the left is the cashier, and at the cashier's desk, guys, right behind, they had the Switch 2 in stock, and they had, I've never seen so many Switch 2s before, and I think they probably had close to like 20 kind of like on the back counter. I was like, damn, that is a lot of Switch 2s. Like, you know, are they scarce? I don't know. But if you go to a Nintendo store, it seems like they have plenty of stock. And tons of accessories, tons of stuff just from any kind of Nintendo IP. So in the corner, immediately we went right to like the Pikmin section. And I was like, they had every single plushie of type of Pikmin except for a couple. And I was like, man, we could really stock up on the Pikmin collection. And it had like shirts that I've never seen before, like the Simple P for the Pikmin. They had some Ochi, they had Bulbasaur plushies, stuff that I've never really seen before, which is pretty cool. Then immediately to the right of that was the game wall. So the game wall had not every single Switch game, but a lot of Switch games on it. And they even had like Switch games that came out years ago, stuff that like when you go to GameStop and you wanted to buy someone that game that came out, you know, 5 years ago, and they just don't have it anymore. Well, it was there. So I had seen like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I saw Xenoblade, which sometimes Xenoblade can be hard to get. They had all the Switch 2 games that have been released. Moving on to the next part of it, to the right of the store, they had like controller exhibits, and they had Alarmo kind of in these nice display cases. And I'm guessing, you know, after every new release, you know, things rotate in, rotate out, but you could see kind of what was in stock, what was in store. Like they had the Nintendo Controller Classic that you have to have like the online to get, which for some reason the N64 is sold out, but the GameCube controller is in. And they also had the Super Nintendo controllers were sold out as well. So I thought that was interesting. I thought they would have those in stock at the store, but they didn't. They had statues of Nintendo characters. The one fun thing that we did down there, and shout out to the Nintendo employee that took our picture, who offered to take our picture in front of the giant Bowser statue, and we got a really great family group picture of us with Bowser. And dude, the Bowser was like taller than me, and he was coming out of like the stairs, because the store is two stories. There's the downstairs that we just talked about, and there's also the upstairs. And he's coming out of the staircase, and we were taking a selfie, and you really couldn't get like the full effect, the full shot in. So the guy behind the cash register, I wish I remembered his name, but was really nice, and ended up snagging a picture, and that's probably going to be my new background picture because I enjoyed it that much. Also on the first floor, there was a lot of kitchenware, and it was actually like a decent set. If I was furnishing the home, I would be getting all that kind of decor. My sister ended up getting the kitchen set because she just moved into our old house, and we ended up carrying all around New York City this giant bag of just Nintendo dishware. So that was fun. So we went upstairs, and as you're going up around the stairs, there's kind of like the TVs that are kind of in the wall, and they have like Nintendo IPs playing on them. and there's like a little Toad on the left, Luigi on the left, and then a flagpole which goes all the way up the staircase with Mario at the top. Very, very cool to have that just as the spiral of the stairs. It's like the reward at the top, right? And then took my picture with the Mario, and then the first thing you see as you go up the staircase is the iconic play area where if you wait in line, you can play the Nintendo Switch, where they have the big screen. Basically, you can play the Switch 2 or whatever thing they have hooked up to on their giant wall, which has been used in their directs, which has gotten a lot of... I remember back when the Switch first came out, when they were doing the directs there, it became very viral popular to go to those New York City directs because, you know, it's like a bunch of fans. I've never been in the presence of that many Nintendo fans before, and, you know, everyone's hyped for the same reason, right? We love Nintendo stuff. Didn't get to play it, but I watched a girl play it. It was pretty cool. And to the side, they had a bunch of like kiosks for like the Switch, like the Switch 2 and stuff. So there was other ones. You know, if she had stopped playing, I probably would have played it. To the left of that was kind of like this history kind of display case of some old cool Nintendo stuff. Had like the golden Game Boy, had a sealed copy of Mario Kart 8, not Deluxe, 8. It had the employee handbook in it, which was funny. And next to that was some random me named PJ. Don't know any lore. So if anyone knows about PJ, let me know down in the comments so I can figure out what that means, because I have no idea what that means. Never seen it before. And then the stuff that was for sale, this was the Zelda, Kirby, there was some Metroid stuff, Animal Crossing, giant Splatoon wall. Biggest, I didn't know there was this many plushies for Splatoon. And they all had their unique characters. Breath of the Wild plushies. They actually had the sword from Breath of the Wild for sale, a replica. And your Splatoon range from your Inklings to the actual squids, the actual octopuses. I almost got the octopus, did not get the octopus. The Kirby section, missed opportunity. I didn't get a Kirby plush, but they had like the Kirby. Should have gotten the Kirby. Actually, later this year, they're doing the Switch 2 upgrade for Kirby in the Forgotten Land, so that's gonna be a great time. And then the Animal Crossing had some interesting things that weren't just plushies. They actually had the Brewster's coffee roaster, and that was like a you know, a little cool knick-knack thing, but I already have a lot of coffee stuff, so I didn't get that either. But that was very cool that they had that. The store had a lot of things that I would have never have thought that they would have. That's why it was really cool. It's like you just wouldn't know. Like no GameStop experience or game store experience would you ever think of what is in that store, which is really neat. And then to the side there was the Pokemon shrine and they had a lot of random Pokemon. Like there was like a Wormadam plushie, wouldn't pick that. Volcanion was also like, they had just very weird plushies. And then of course they had the Pikachu and the Statue of Liberty. And yeah, there wasn't a ton of Pokemon. There was no Pokemon cards, unfortunately. That's basically what was there. The design of the store is simple, it's open, and it has the Nintendo love in certain areas. So like when we were kind of watching the girl play on the big screen, you turn your head, and up above you is actually some Pikmin hanging up on the walls. Or you have like a nice statue of something, or you have like the displays are very minimalistic, and then you have like the Nintendo characters. So I thought that blended very well in the store and took great photos in it. So anyway, that's basically the store. I had a great time with my family, and then we went to check out. So I will show you guys what I ended up getting. I'll pull it out in this reusable Nintendo bag. So the first thing I had to get was, of course, Ochi. And Ochi, if you guys didn't know, did not get an amiibo when Pikmin 4 came out. So having this as my favorite new Pikmin character was very cool. It was actually only $25, and it's a pretty big plushie. So I was like, I couldn't pass it up, because like if I went and ordered this online, it was definitely going to be more expensive, and I didn't have to pay for shipping. Ochi, the most lovable and loyal Pikmin friend you could ever have. Pikmin are pretty loyal, but Ochi is a goat. He also makes Pikmin way too easy, but we can talk about that in a different video. Okay, so the next thing I got I'll give you guys a guess. It is gonna be one of my favorite new Pokemon, and it is, of course, we gave him a name, Chonkers. It is Lechonk from Scarlet and Violet. It was my new favorite basic starting level Pokemon. He is so cute. Had to get him, and he was only 20 bucks. So I thought that was a great steal. He's pretty, I mean, he's as big as Ochi, so I was very shocked, and that's kind of how when I went into the other plushie stuff and some of the other items in the store, they are relatively cheap, which I wasn't expecting. I was only expecting to kind of go take pictures, all that kind of stuff, but I ended up getting quite a few things. The next thing that I got 4 things, but maybe this is the last thing that I got. Oh, I don't have the other thing on camera. We got my wife, when we were checking out, just like out of the corner of her eye, she was eyeing the peach hat, and we ended up getting the peach hat for her. But I ended up getting this shirt. This was the only one that was there. I think it fits me pretty well. A double XL, and it is the Rooster from Animal Crossing. I am a huge Animal Crossing fan. I love Brewster. I love coffee. I just thought that it fit very well for me, and it was on sale for 20 bucks. So that's what I got, guys. Didn't get any games. There was also an amiibo wall that if I had started pulling amiibo, I really didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, but they had a ton of amiibo that are going to be hard to get, and they had plenty of them. So if you guys are in the area, they have so much product. Stop in, go check it out, and see if you like the stuff there, because it is so neat. It is definitely one of those go-to spots if you're a Nintendo fan. We were walking down the street afterwards, and we all had, 3 of us had our bags, and some dude was literally behind us. He's like, "Oh, I heard they had a Nintendo store." I was like, "Yeah, they do. You should go see it. It's really cool." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Where is it?" I was like, "Literally right behind us." Hopefully he went and checked it out, because it was pretty cool. And like I said, they had consoles, all the games, all the plushies that you could ask for, anything you could not think of or possibly think of, they have it. So it was a great experience. People were nice. Never been with so many Nintendo loving people before. It was just a very cool experience. And then we got to go see the show, and we got to see the city. So that was also very cool. That's all I got for you guys today. I know it was just kind of like low-key upcoming stuff. I'm working on a few projects, like I said, and I'm also going on vacation, so that's going to be next week. So I might be able to get some short content out, but I might not be able to get a full video out, just because I won't have access to all my computer stuff, all my files. I will bring my laptop to maybe get some shorts out. So if you don't hear from me, I'm just on vacation. Haven't taken vacation in a little bit, so that's what we're going to be doing next week. And yeah, so just wanted to get that out of the way. Also, thank you all who have been subscribing to the channel. We are almost at 300 subs. I really appreciate it. Even if you're not subbed, I really appreciate it. Just watching the videos helps out a lot if you're here all the way to the end, as well as liking this video or liking the other videos on the channel, or disliking the videos also helps a ton. And leave a comment down below on your experiences, if you guys have been to the city, if you guys have been to the New York City Nintendo store, because I'd love to hear your guys' experience. I'm sure they changed the store around. I'm sure you've had plenty more experiences than I have there. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching the Average Joe Show. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.